Good morning. My name is Francesco Marra. I'm the co-founder of Marra Forni, and I'm here with our dear friend and director of education of Pizza University and Culinary Arts, Leo Spizzirri.
Ciao amici.
We are demonstrating our new innovations, our rotator, wood, coal, and gas assist. Some people say, what's so innovative about a rotator ovens? But first of all, I have to say, we decided to add another, certifications for coal ovens or coal combustions. So now we have solid fuel and liquid fuel combo, right? But what's good about the rotator, chef, for a pizza maker?
The biggest thing that we see with our students that come in, we talk about a lot about efficiency. And I think that right now that we're in a spot where labor is sometimes scarce around the country, just to have a person sitting at the oven is always one of those pieces that if you could take that piece out and say now you can go back to making pizzas at your bench and then come back and put the pizza out by itself, I think that that's where we're seeing the biggest one. This oven have the ability to do multiple fuel sources. So we have a lot of areas that we can't burn wood anymore, right? Or maybe coal, someone's looking for a coal oven. To have one application, one oven that does all of them is really nice. Or maybe you start up one way and then you find out later that it wasn't the direction you wanted to go with. You have the ability to change without having to change the entire oven. And I think this is really strong. And the feedback from our students a lot of times even helps us with innovation. We see, hundreds and hundreds of students a year. And to have that feedback, not only from professional restaurateurs, but, even operators that are brand new in the industry opening their first restaurant, it's really a very good proposal for us to be able to address it for them.
So some of our customers and students, they might ask us why coal is so dirty, right? It's heavy. It takes a lot of real estate space. Just in contest, in a coal-fired ovens, you gotta probably put those traditional large 14 feet by 14 feet. You gotta probably put 7 bag of 30 pounds. So you talk about 210 pounds of coal. So that some of these really upcoming coal oven company, they're asking us, well, we want to reduce the amount of coal that we use. We want to use liquid fuel, natural gas as form of combustions, but we still want to keep the identity of our brand, coal oven, oven, or coal oven, pizza. So that's what we did. Basically, in this chamber, right, you're able to put your coal or wood, but then you have two burner, one on the left and one on the right, that will help you keep up with the production of pizza. So, chef, do we want to give a demonstration how
Yeah,
to use?
and I want to talk too because this oven is very efficient in the way that it works. We got the oven warmed up this morning. You walk in, the thing I love about this oven is that when you walk in the morning, the retention of heat from the day before allows us that we don't need to raise the temperature by, 400 or 500 degrees. It's minimal, a few hundred degrees. So once the oven is warmed up in the morning and we're ready to cook, without anything working inside the oven, the stone gets very, very hot. And to have that ability that we have the heat retention inside the stones, that allows me to say, well, my first customer just arrived. I don't have to have the gas burners on. And now I'm ready to put the first pizza. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn the burners back on. In the time that it takes me to go back over here to grab, we're going to be making Panuozzo today. Excuse me one second, guys. I apologize. In the time that it takes me to go ahead and launch these breads, the burner will be on and it's ready to go. There we go.
So while the chef is putting all the dough inside, you'll see that basically there is less manipulation of the dough because the oven is your baker. Because the deck is turning and the pizza is cooking, and it allows you to do something else, right? So in a typically traditional static ovens, the chef will need to load the pizza, put it into the oven, and then start to flip it. Because we have the rotation that is calculated and changes by a second, the chef is able just to put it in and let the oven do the work. That's how, also it's a great benefit from our oven because you reduce the cost of labor, you become more consistent and also more efficient with your cooking.
What we're making right now, this is a perfect example of an item that can be used for lunch. It's a Neapolitan sandwich bread called Panuozzo. Panuozzo is the same pizza dough, our Neapolitan pizza dough, baked until it rises up. The steam inside creates a pouch inside, and as soon as it's set up, it kind of opens up like a volcano. And then we pull it out, and then once you have the customer wants a sandwich, we can open it up, put the filling inside, and rewarm it and finish the sandwich so it's nice and toasted. This is an application that a lot of people are interested because it's not just a pizza oven. There's a lot, you can actually cook inside this oven as well.
How do you maximize the usage of a brick ovens? You make sure that you do all your prep in the morning or after lunchtime, and then you utilize the oven maybe to make pizza. But to get the best utilization of the ovens, you got to make sure that you use every hours of operation, and not just the peak hours. So in the morning you do your prep, you do your vegetables, you do your part bake. You can do your proteins. You just sear it and then leave it in a place to use later on.
There's the volcano. I will say like this, nowhere in America you can buy dough as cheap as you can make it in-house. If my dough with the best flour, 00 flour, this is 00 Caputo flour, imported from Italy, best flour, water, everything that's in there, flour, water, salt, and yeast, I would say 280 gram dough ball, you're gonna have probably less than 32 cents a piece. You cannot buy bread that cheap. We're gonna open this up just like this. And inside, we have this beautiful pocket, okay? And you can see this is still very hot. But the greatest thing about this when we open this is, look at inside. Look at this thing. This is why I gotta hold on to something because it's very hot. Let me open the other one. This could be done pre-shift. Maybe you got a dozen of these ready to go. And then you get an order, and all you have to do is open them up, put the filling inside, and then we usually put them in one more time open-faced. So now that we've got this like this.
So we're going to stuff it with authentic Italian charcuterie, right? We're going to use prosciutto di Parma and prosciutto cotto.
This is from our friends at Ferrarini. This is prosciutto di Parma and prosciutto cotto. So let's put a little bit of mozzarella here first. This is mozzarella from actually Grande. This is the Avorio cheese, which is a semi-soft cheese. A little different than fior di latte. Again, this is beautiful because it gives us a little pull. I don't want to put too much of this because I don't want everything overpowering and I don't want it too heavy. The bread is so light. The ingredients we're using are top quality. So again, I don't want to mask anything. Prosciutto crudo, obviously we would never put in the oven. Però we could put the prosciutto cotto.
Why wouldn't we put it in the oven, right?
Sacrilege. It's sacrilege. Inside of Parma, there's a little old lady that she would be screaming, and you would be able to hear all the way to Chicago if you put prosciutto crudo inside the oven.
I see all the time, that prosciutto has been aged for 18 to 24 months.
Taste this. This is actually 22 months, prosciutto di Parma, and I just literally sliced this on the Marra flywheel slicer. When we do this, I'm going to put a little bit of this cotto, just like this. Notice the cut. I want to make these smaller pieces because if I can do these smaller pieces, my presentation looks like it's more full. And in the restaurant, that's part of the game, right? The value. Now we're going to go back in the oven. We give it like one spin, and it'll be ready to go. The other thing that I love about this, the oven is set at a rotation speed of 45 seconds. I selected 45 seconds because it's going to put the product, in this case, in front of the burner more often. Setting point is right about 700 degrees right now. So at 700 degrees in about 45 seconds, that's really all we need. We're going to go to, because the burner's just turned on, I'm going to give it one more rotation. Let's say in 90 seconds, we'll be on.
And let's talk about the smart Marra control, right? We have ability to change the rotation by the increment of a second. Now we have an 89-second rotation. So we can increment the time of the rotation by a second. And for a chef, it's extremely important because you can basically achieve perfection.
now we're gonna put the filling, right? I never wanna put things like arugula, things that need to stay cold. I never wanna put them in the oven. So in this case now, prosciutto cotto, you see like the edges are nice and crispy, tender, cheese is all melted. The sandwich now is crispy on the outside. I'm gonna put a little bit of arugula, just like this. I don't wanna put a crazy amount of arugula because we're not making a salad, right? So I wanna put just a little beautiful arugula. I'm using Partana. Partana olive oil is from Sicily. And all of my oliere, these are the containers, all my oliere always have Partana inside. On the other side, where we're doing the New York style pizza, that today we have the Corto olive oil over there. So this one over here is ready to go. Maybe, you know, I like a little fresh basil.
I love basil.
I love a little fresh basil too. A little color. We'll put this like this. And then we close this up just like this. We're going to keep this here for a second. Now, this sandwich over here, this is the one now, the prosciutto crudo. And the reason why we put this...
Prosciutto di Parma Ferrarini.
Ferrarini prosciutto crudo. This is a DOP aged 22 months. The reason why I do this when this comes out of the oven is now the residual heat from the bread will start to warm the prosciutto up, and this fat cap, the part that's on the edge, actually renders down, and it's very beautiful, and you get the flavor of the prosciutto, but it's almost like adding oil itself to this.
So can I add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil?
Francesco, what I like to do, I like to put the greens first.
Okay.
Because then it's almost like we're dressing the greens at the same time. Viva la vida. Bravo, buona. Let's take a little bit of basilico, a little fresh basil, just like this, and we'll close this one up. Now, the ultimate part of any of these sandwich. Excuse me, you want to cut them?
I'll cut one and you'll cut another one. First of all, that's what a lot of pizzaiolo do, just to show the crispness of the dough.
Here, cut on top over here.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful.
So we'll do, I guess, 3 pieces, right?
Look at how beautiful inside this is. You remember I told you, you cannot buy bread this cheap? Look at this.
We'll do the other one.
Do the other one. Prosciutto di Parma, fior di latte, basilico, olive oil.
This is my ideal sandwich for lunch.
This one, what do you say in Napoli? Alla fine del mondo.
La fine del mondo.